Hey there. Getting ready to step into a career where, every second counts. Well, you're diving into the world of a pump operator.
The heartbeat of firefighting operations.
These are the folks who, make sure those hoses are pumping, keeping the
Yeah.
water flowing.
And the flames at bay,
We're talking serious pressure.
both literally and figuratively.
And to make sure you're prepped for, those crucial interviews.
We're tapping into the awesome power of RoleCatcher.
Think of it as your secret weapon for navigating that firefighting career landscape.
What's fascinating about the pump operator role is that it's not just about the technical know-how.
It's about thinking quickly.
Staying cool under fire.
You need to be a master of the machines. A&D's strategist.
On the scene.
Exactly. So let's get you ready to show them you've got what it takes. We're going to tackle some real interview questions taken straight from RoleCatcher's massive library.
And I'll be giving my insights on how to knock your answers out of the park.
Ready to dive in?
Absolutely. Let's get started.
All right, first up, describe your experience working with pumps. Now, this one might seem like a softball.
But interviewers are listening for more than just a list of jobs.
What are those hidden clues they're looking for? What separates a true pump operator from someone who just skimmed the manual?
You hit the nail on the head. They want to see that you understand pumps inside and out.
From the basic mechanics to the nuances of different systems.
Think about it. Have you ever tinkered with engines as a kid?
Maybe helped a neighbor fix their pool pump.
Those early experiences show a natural curiosity and a hands-on approach.
So, starting with those early experiences and building up to your more recent roles.
Paints a picture of someone who's always been fascinated by how things work, right?
Exactly. And as you walk them through your experience,
Don't just tell them what you did.
show them the impact.
Instead of saying, I maintain pumps.
Try, I developed a preventative maintenance schedule that reduced pump downtime by 15%.
Numbers like that make your contributions tangible.
I love that.
Yeah.
Show them you're not just a doer.
You're a problem solver.
Who gets results? Now, what if you're newer to the field and don't have years of experience to draw on? How do you showcase that hunger to learn and grow?
That's where highlighting any courses or certifications you've pursued comes in.
Even if you haven't been on the front lines yet, you've taken the initiative to build a solid foundation of knowledge.
And speaking of showcasing your skills, RoleCatcher's AI can actually analyze job descriptions and tell you exactly which experiences and qualifications to highlight for each specific role.
It's like having a personalized roadmap.
For your application.
It's a game changer.
Especially for those transitioning from related fields. Maybe you've worked in mechanics or engineering.
RoleCatcher helps you connect the dots for the interviewer, highlighting the transferable skills that make you a strong candidate.
Okay, let's crank up the pressure with question number 2.
Can you describe a time when you had to troubleshoot a pump that wasn't working properly? This one is all about your ability to stay calm and think clearly in a high-stress situation.
Absolutely imagine a fire raging.
And the pump that's feeding the hoses suddenly starts sputtering
You need to diagnose the problem and fix it fast.
while everyone's counting on you.
Talk about pressure.
So how do you tell that story in a way that highlights your problem-solving superpowers? I've heard the STAR method can be super helpful here.
You're right on the money. The STAR method is a great framework for structuring your answer. Start by setting the scene.
What was this situation? Was it a routine inspection or a sudden malfunction during a critical operation?
So paint that picture for them. Let them feel the heat of the moment.
Then what?
Next, describe the task at hand. What was wrong with the pump? What were the potential consequences if it wasn't fixed immediately?
This shows you understand the gravity of the situation.
Okay, so we've got the scene set.
The problem defined.
Now it's time for action.
How did you approach troubleshooting the issue? What specific steps did you take?
This is where those technical skills really shine.
And don't just rattle off a list of things you checked.
Walk them through your thought process.
Did you start with the most likely culprit based on the symptoms?
Did you have to eliminate possibilities one by one?
This shows them you're not just following a rote checklist.
You're thinking critically.
I love that show. Show them you're a pump detective.
And finally, what was the result? Did you manage to get the pump back up and running?
This is your chance to highlight your effectiveness.
Did your quick thinking and problem-solving skills save the day? Did your solution prevent further damage or downtime?
And even if the outcome wasn't perfect, you can still show them what you learned from the experience. Maybe you discovered a new troubleshooting technique or realized the importance of a specific safety protocol.
Exactly. It's all about demonstrating your commitment to continuous improvement.
Even in the face of challenges. And this is where RoleCatcher's AI-powered feedback can be incredibly valuable. You can practice your answers and get personalized tips on how to structure your stories and highlight those key competencies.
It's like having an interview coach in your back pocket.
So you're not just going in blind, you're fine-tuning your answers based on expert feedback. Now, let's shift gears to a question that's all about safety. How do you ensure the safety of yourself and others when operating pumps? In a field like firefighting, safety isn't just a priority, it's an absolute necessity.
Couldn't agree more. This question is designed to gauge your understanding of safety protocols and your commitment to creating a safe working environment.
For everyone.
So it's not enough to just rattle off a list of safety rules, right?
I want to see that you truly understand why those rules are in place.
And how they impact everyone on the scene.
Exactly. Connect those protocols back to the bigger picture. For example, instead of just saying, I always wear my PPE.
Explain. I understand that wearing proper PPE, like gloves and eye protection, not only protects me from potential hazards like chemicals and heat, but also sets a good example for the rest of the team and contributes to a culture of safety.
That's a much more impactful answer. It shows you're not just following the rules because you have to, you're following them because you genuinely care about the well-being of yourself and your team.
And don't be afraid to mention specific safety training or certifications you've completed recently. It demonstrates your dedication to staying current with best practices.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground already.
But let's keep the momentum going.
What's next on our interview question hit list?
Let's dive into the world of teamwork.
Firefighting is all about collaboration, and the next question really puts that to the test. It asks,
Describe a time when you had to work collaboratively with others to complete a pump-related task.
all right, listeners, you heard it here first. Teamwork is key in this profession. So let's explore how to showcase those collaborative skills and impress those interviewers in our next segment.
We're back and ready to tackle more of those tough interview questions.
We got it. Last we left off, we were about to dive into a question all about teamwork.
Describe a time when you had to work collaboratively with others to complete a pump-related task.
So how do we make our answer stand out and show those interviewers we're true team players?
It's all about choosing a compelling story that demonstrates your specific contributions to a successful outcome. Remember, firefighting is a high-stakes team sport, so they want to see that you can communicate effectively, coordinate efforts, and contribute your expertise.
Under pressure.
So, let's say you're at a fire scene.
And there's a problem with the pump system.
How do you walk them through your role in resolving the issue as part of a team?
Start by setting the scene.
And describing the challenge.
What was the specific issue with the pump?
Were there any unique obstacles?
Or time constraints?
This helps the interviewer understand the context of your teamwork experience.
Right, so paint that picture for them. Maybe it was a complex pump setup in a multi-story building, or perhaps a time-sensitive situation where every second mattered. Then what?
Next, highlight your specific role in the team. What were your responsibilities?
Did you communicate a critical piece of information?
Did you troubleshoot a specific component of the system?
Did you coordinate efforts with other team members?
And don't be afraid to get specific. Maybe you noticed a pressure gauge fluctuating and alerted the team leader. Or perhaps you had to quickly calculate the correct water flow rate for a specific type of fire.
Those details bring your story to life and showcase your technical knowledge.
Absolutely. And as you're describing your actions,
Emphasize the importance of communication and collaboration.
did you clearly explain your observations to the team?
Did you actively listen to input from others?
Did you adjust your approach based on feedback or changing circumstances?
These details demonstrate your ability to work seamlessly as part of a unit.
Which is crucial in a fast-paced, high-pressure environment like firefighting.
Exactly. And finally, wrap up your story by describing the positive outcome.
Did the team successfully resolve the issue?
Did your contributions directly impact the success of the operation?
Even if the outcome wasn't perfect.
You can still highlight what you learned from the experience.
Maybe you discovered a more efficient communication strategy or a new way to troubleshoot a particular problem.
And remember, you can always use RoleCatcher's AI to practice your answers and get feedback on how effectively you're communicating those teamwork skills.
It's like having a personal coach to help you fine-tune your stories and showcase your strengths.
Okay, let's move on to question number 5.
How do you ensure that pumps are operating efficiently and effectively?
This one seems to be getting at your proactive approach to maintenance and optimization.
You're right. It's not just about reacting to problems. It's about preventing them in the first place.
And ensuring that those pumps are always ready to perform at their best.
So, what are some key strategies that interviewers want to hear about? What sets a truly proactive pump operator apart from the rest?
Think about the entire life cycle of a pump.
It starts with understanding the manufacturer's recommendations for maintenance and operation.
Are you familiar with the specific make and model of pumps used by the department you're applying to?
That's a great point. Doing your research on the department's equipment shows initiative and a genuine interest in their specific operations.
Exactly. And once you understand the basics, it's all about developing a systematic approach to inspection, monitoring, and preventative maintenance.
So, walk them through your process.
Maybe you have a checklist you use during routine inspections, or perhaps you've developed a system for tracking pump performance data.
Those details demonstrate your organizational skills and your commitment to efficiency.
And if you've ever identified a potential problem before it caused a major issue, that's a great story to share.
Right. Maybe you noticed a slight drop in pressure during a routine check and discovered a minor leak that could have turned into a major headache later on.
That's a perfect example of proactive problem solving.
Absolutely. And don't forget to mention any specialized training or certifications you have related to pump efficiency or preventative maintenance. Those credentials demonstrate your commitment to continuous learning and staying ahead of the curve.
Now, this might be a good time to weave in some career insights from RoleCatcher's guides. A lot of people might think pump operator is a pretty straightforward role.
But there are actually tons of different paths you can take and specialties you can develop, right?
That's right. As you gain experience, you can specialize in areas like high-rise firefighting,
Wildland firefighting,
hazmat response,
or even become a pump maintenance expert.
and RoleCatcher's career guides can help you explore those different paths and figure out which one aligns with your interests and long-term goals.
Exactly. And as you're researching different specialties,
Think about how your current skills and experience might translate to those areas.
okay, let's tackle another question.
How do you prioritize tasks when working on multiple pump-related issues simultaneously?
This one really gets at your ability to handle pressure.
And think on your feet, doesn't it?
It does. Imagine you're at a fire scene with multiple alarms going off, pumps acting up.
And everyone looking to you for solutions.
You need to assess the situation, prioritize tasks.
And delegate effectively to keep things running smoothly.
Talk about a pressure cooker.
So how do you showcase those decision-making skills and demonstrate your ability to stay calm and focused amidst the chaos?
The key is to demonstrate a systematic approach to prioritization. Maybe you use a mental checklist to quickly assess the severity of each issue, or perhaps you have a system for assigning tasks based on urgency and the expertise of your team members.
So walk them through your process.
What factors do you consider when making those split-second decisions?
Are there specific safety protocols that take precedence?
Do you prioritize tasks that have the biggest impact on the overall operation?
Those details demonstrate your ability to think critically and make sound judgments under pressure. And remember, even if you don't have a formal system in place, you can still articulate your thought process and show them how you prioritize effectively based on the situation at hand.
Right. Maybe you instinctively focus on tasks that pose the greatest immediate risk to safety or those that are essential for maintaining water flow to the firefighters.
Exactly. It's about showcasing your ability to assess, prioritize, and act decisively in a dynamic and challenging environment.
Okay, we're making great progress here, but we've still got a few more questions to tackle and some awesome RoleCatcher insights to share. Let's keep this interview prep train rolling.
We're back and ready to pump up those interview skills even further. We've talked about showcasing your experience, your problem-solving abilities,
And your teamwork prowess.
but now it's time to dive into the technical nitty-gritty.
That's right. The next question is all about your in-depth knowledge of pump control systems.
What experience do you have with troubleshooting pump control systems? This one's designed to see if you can handle those complex systems that keep everything running smoothly.
Okay, so it's time to show them you're not just a button pusher.
You're a control system whisperer. Where do we even begin with this one?
Start by showcasing your familiarity with the types of control systems used in firefighting. Have you worked with PLC-based systems?
Maybe you've got experience with SCADA systems or other automated controls.
Mentioning specific systems you're comfortable with demonstrates your technical depth.
So name drop those acronyms.
But don't assume the interviewer knows what they mean.
Could you give us a quick breakdown of those systems and how they relate to pump operations?
Absolutely. PLC stands for Programmable Logic Controller.
These are basically specialized computers that control and automate machinery.
In the case of pumps, PLCs can control things like motor speed, valve positions, pressure levels.
And all sorts of other critical functions,
So it's like the brain of the pump system.
making sure everything's working in sync.
What about SCADA?
SCADA stands for Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition,
These systems are used to monitor and control large-scale processes.
often from a central location.
In firefighting, SCADA systems might be used to monitor the status of multiple pumps across a city or to remotely control pumps at a large-scale incident.
Wow, so it's like having a bird's eye view of the entire pump network.
Knowing these systems inside and out is crucial for keeping things running smoothly and responding effectively.
To emergency.
Exactly. And once you've established your familiarity with the systems themselves,
It's time to showcase your troubleshooting skills. Walk the interviewer through your diagnostic process.
how do you approach a problem with a control system?
What tools or techniques do you use?
So it's not just about knowing the buttons and dials, it's about understanding the logic behind the system.
And being able to systematically identify and resolve issues.
Right. Maybe you start by checking error logs or analyzing data trends.
Perhaps you have a go-to method for isolating components.
Or testing circuits.
And if you've ever solved a particularly tricky control system problem, that's a great story to share. It shows the interviewer you can think critically and apply your knowledge to solve real-world challenges.
And don't forget to mention any specialized training or certifications you have related to pump control systems. Maybe you've taken courses on PLC programming.
Or SCADA system administration.
Those credentials demonstrate your commitment to professional development and staying ahead of the curve.
In a rapidly evolving field.
Okay, let's move on to question number 8.
How do you ensure that pumps are properly aligned during installation or maintenance? This one seems to be all about precision and attention to detail.
You're right on the mark. Pump alignment is crucial for efficiency, reliability.
And longevity. A misaligned pump can lead to all sorts of problems.
From excessive vibration and wear.
To premature failure.
So it's not just about getting the pump in place. It's about making sure it's perfectly aligned to minimize stress.
And maximize performance.
Exactly. And there are different techniques for achieving proper alignment depending on the type of pump and the application. Some common methods include laser alignment.
Dial indicator alignment.
And straight edge alignment.
Okay, so those are the technical terms, but what do they actually mean? Could you break down those alignment techniques for us?
Sure. Laser alignment is considered the most accurate method. It uses a laser beam to measure the offset between the pump shaft and the driver shaft. The laser system provides precise measurements and guidance for making adjustments.
So it's like having a high-tech ruler that ensures perfect alignment. What about dial indicator alignment?
Dial indicator alignment uses a precision dial gauge to measure the offset between the shafts,
It's a more traditional method.
but still very effective when done correctly.
And finally, what's straight edge alignment?
Straight edge alignment is a simpler method that uses a straight edge and feeler gauges to check for parallelism between the shafts. It's typically used for smaller pumps or as a preliminary check before using more precise methods.
Okay, so there are different tools and techniques for the job.
But the end goal is always the same,
Perfect alignment.
for optimal performance.
Right. And when you're answering this question in an interview, it's important to highlight your experience with the specific alignment methods used by the department you're applying to. Have you used laser alignment systems before?
Are you comfortable working with dial indicators? Show them you've got the hands-on skills and the technical knowledge to ensure those pumps are properly aligned from day one.
And if you've ever had to troubleshoot an alignment issue, that's a great story to share. Maybe you discovered a misaligned pump during a routine inspection and prevented a major breakdown.
Exactly. It shows the interviewer you're proactive, detail-oriented, and committed to keeping those pumps running smoothly.
Okay, let's tackle our final question in this interview prep marathon.
How do you stay up to date with the latest pump technology and industry trends?
This one's all about demonstrating your commitment to continuous learning and professional growth.
You got it. The firefighting industry is constantly evolving.
With new technologies and techniques emerging all the time, interviewers want to see that you're passionate about staying ahead of the curve and bringing those innovations to your department.
So it's not just about knowing what you learned in school or training. It's about showing them you're a lifelong learner who's always seeking out new knowledge and skills.
Exactly. And there are tons of resources available for staying up to date in the firefighting field. Do you subscribe to industry publications like Fire Engineering?
Or fire apparatus and emergency equipment.
Those are great resources for staying informed about the latest trends in pump technology, firefighting tactics.
And safety protocols.
Absolutely. And don't forget about the power of professional organizations like the National Fire Protection Association. NFPA.
Or the International Association of Fire Chiefs, IAFC.
They offer conferences, training programs, and online resources that can help you expand your knowledge and connect with other professionals in the field.
Attending conferences and workshops is a fantastic way to learn from experts
That work with peers.
and discover cutting-edge technologies.
Right. And even something as simple as following relevant industry blogs or social media accounts can keep you in the loop about new developments and emerging trends.
The key is to be proactive and intentional about your professional development.
Don't wait for someone to tell you what you need to know. Seek out opportunities to learn and grow on your own.
And when you're answering this question in an interview, be specific about the resources you use and the steps you take to stay informed. Maybe you recently attended a conference on new pump technologies.
Or completed an online training course on advanced troubleshooting techniques.
Those details demonstrate your commitment to lifelong learning and your dedication to staying at the forefront of your profession.
And this is where RoleCatcher can really help you shine. Their platform is constantly being updated with the latest industry trends and insights. You can use their skill guides to deep dive into specific topics.
Explore career paths.
And even practice your interview answers with AI-powered feedback.
It's like having a personalized career development coach right at your fingertips.
Exactly. RoleCatcher is an invaluable resource for anyone pursuing a career in firefighting, whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned veteran.
Well, I think we've covered just about everything you need to know to ace that pump operator interview.
From showcasing your experience and technical skills to demonstrating your problem-solving abilities and commitment to lifelong learning.
We've given you the tools to impress those interviewers.
And land your dream job.
Remember, confidence is key. You've got the skills, the knowledge,
And the passion to excel in this rewarding.
and challenging field.
Yeah.
Go out there and show them what you're made of.
And don't forget to check out RoleCatcher. Their platform is an incredible resource for navigating your firefighting career journey, from preparing for interviews to exploring specializations and staying up to date on the latest trends. We're cheering you on every step of the way. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.